The man shaped all the rice into small rice balls. Then he hung them one by one on the tree branches. Once the rice balls covered all the branches, he immediately jumped down from the tree. Then he quickly ran home to tell his gossip-loving wife that the old tree on the back mountain was growing rice balls. His blabbermouth wife immediately rushed to the back mountain to see for herself. The woman was shocked to find the tree was actually covered with rice balls. She even climbed up and took a small bite. With this good news, she ran back to the village, spreading the word everywhere, shouting that the old tree on the back mountain was full of rice balls, and that everyone wouldn't have to work hard farming anymore. The woman shouted from one end of the village to the other. The villagers all rushed to follow her to pick the rice balls. But when they ran to the tree, they were stunned. The old tree was completely bare with nothing on it. This made the villagers think the woman was making fools of them, so they all ganged up and beat her up, and warned her never to fool people again. After the villagers left, her husband finally poked his head out from behind the rocks. And this was exactly the result the man wanted. Because his wife was the village's notorious gossip with a vicious tongue, the village chief had only casually mentioned that he often drank goji berry tea. But by the time it reached Anna's ears, it became that the chief loved eating cow dung. She then spread this story throughout the entire village. Sarah repeated Anna's words and the village chief found out. As a result, she got a beating with a stick. After the brutal beating, Sarah rushed to Anna's house to teach her a harsh lesson, because her big mouth had nearly cost Sarah her life. But Sarah searched everywhere and couldn't find Anna. She sat in front of the door crying and making a scene in anger. Only after Sarah got tired and left did Anna crawl out of the pig pen, covered in dirt. Because of this incident, her healthy mother-in-law became bedridden with anger. Just 2.5 days later, he saw Anna being chased around by neighbors because of her foul mouth again. Over time, even their children were ostracized and bullied by classmates. The house couldn't get a moment's peace. His sick old mother's condition worsened from being constantly frightened. Thinking about all this misery at home, the man never smiled again. Finally, he can only take his terrible life and frustrations to the back mountain, and made a wish to the old tree that his wife would stop gossiping. But before he could finish his wish, hundreds of gold coins mysteriously fell from the tree, landing hard on the man's head. He took a close look and, too excited to think much, ran home, ready to tell his wife this good news. But halfway there, he stopped. The man remembered his wife's gossiping and feared she'd spread this news everywhere, which would probably end up harming him. So the man had to go back to the old tree and bury the gold coins in a deep pit. When night fell, the frustrated man decided to cure his wife's gossiping problem.